Hello, world. Mike, Newfound Past. What is going on? January 18th is Friday. As my dog looks around towards me. Good morning, Monty. Monty, Michelle, how you guys doing today? How's it going? How's it going? Look at that. A thumbs down before I even started. That's awesome. You know I've made it when I got a thumbs down before I even started. Kind of like Justin. I'm definitely not going to have the hat and the glasses and the hoodie. I got the hoodie like Justin had this morning, but it is cold. Kind of look like the Unabomber. Good morning, Punches Resells. That's a new name in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Marcy, Gina, L. How's it going? I remembered your name. I didn't even have to look at my list. Anne, good morning. Awesome, Marcy. I'm going to get it put up today. Good morning, Diane. Thrift Manifesto. Ooh, doggies. We were supposed to get the morning Steampunk Town. We were supposed to get, like snow here, but we really didn't get anything. This weekend, they were talking about getting snow here as well, but I think it's all going to go north of us. You guys up north in New England, especially, going to get nailed this weekend. Oh, what is that, Marcy? I didn't even a reseller challenge. Don't need. Oh, you're talking about your video, probably. All right, cool. I'll watch it when you get it posted. I was thinking about what to do this morning, and let me see here. Good morning, Nathan. Yeah, I remembered you, L. Scotch. I don't know what's chicken fried steak. Good morning, Central Cali. Early there. It's 6 a.m. in Central Cali. Morning, Hawk. How you doing? Good morning, Brian. That's good, L. Packing solds is always good. I only got 2 to pack up. I only had 2 sales yesterday. It's kind of slow. One's a local pickup though, which the guy's going to come pick up tomorrow. And I sold one this morning already, a pretty good one this morning. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it packed up and sent out today. And maybe Marcy will. We'll see. I don't know if this is going to go too long this morning, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, everyone go over and sub to Marcy. She is just starting out, getting her content out there. Is Scott Punches recently, like Scott the Bearded Picker? Scott, did he do a new channel or a different Scott? I'm behind the times here. Missed out a lot of the stuff, the working hangouts yesterday. I had a bunch of other stuff to do. I did get a bunch of listed yesterday as well, but had a lot going on. No, okay. I was just wondering. I'll put your name down though, since Punches Resale is Scott. I eventually learn, as you can ask 24 everyone's name. But Morning Maniac Picker, got your name down here too, I think. Or maybe not. Okay, but anyway. Oh, that's awesome, Marcy. What did you mostly send in? Was it retail arbitrage? Was it books? Let me know what it is. I've talked about retail arbitrage a little bit in my area, and for how good the thrifting is in my area, the retail arbitrage is that bad in my area. So, and Marcy was MIA yesterday on YouTube. Yeah. Oh, Maniac Picker is Mike, just like me. I'll try to remember that one easier. So Maniac Picker, Mike. Gotcha. On the list. Good morning, Justin. How's it going? I put my hood up for you this morning a little bit, Justin. Looking, could have got my Oakleys out and put them on, you know. Jameson's Closet. I hired my daughter-in-law to start taking pictures and measurements. She is coming this morning. Need to get rid of this death pile. Absolutely. If you have someone that you know will work, that you trust, is definitely the way to go, you know. So yeah, if I had someone to do pictures and measurements that I could hire, I would do it too. Like if my niece lives in Arkansas, if she was here, I'd hire her to do it. But yeah, I tried to get her to come to college in Virginia. She just didn't do it. Wouldn't do it though. Tons of Walgreens clearance, Marcy. That's awesome. That's awesome. Good morning, Bob. How you doing? Same. Chicken fried steak has the same in his area as mine. You know. Oh, that's crazy, Brenda. Brian, I saw a story that government workers were now selling their stuff on eBay. I wouldn't doubt it. You know, and I've talked about this. You know, my wife works for the government, and but luckily she is not furloughed, and she's still getting paid. She's got the double fortunate combo. But if she was furloughed, she would just help me list. We would just double and triple up on our listing and stuff, and we would be okay. It would be difficult to replace her salary, but we would be okay. No, Marcy, but I need to. It's just chronological order right now as I've been getting the names. I've just been writing them down, but I need to make it more tidy, more efficient, as the name of 2019 is, more efficiency. Good morning, Will. Will is Honda Hangouts. How you doing this morning? Good morning, Michelle. So yeah, the thrifting in my area has always been really good. When I moved here, you know, I wasn't sure. I didn't knew nothing about the area, and just started going to the thrift store. I think the first thrift store I went to in this area was Savers, actually, and I don't even go to Savers anymore. It's just not. I mean, not to say you can't find stuff at Savers. You can. You can find stuff at any thrift store, no matter how expensive it is. You know, all that stuff, yada yada yada. That's been covered ad nauseum. But there's just better thrift stores at better prices that I would rather go to, that I'd rather spend my time in. Most of you know in here there is some new people, so I'll cover it. I only go thrifting on Sundays, sometimes on Wednesdays at Salvation Army, but usually just Sundays. And I had a core group of 3 stores, and it takes all day on Sunday for those 3 stores. And that's where every single item we get comes from normally. So yeah, the thrifting is very good in those 3 stores that we've narrowed it down to. I've had a few people of my subscribers hit those same stores and they say it's too expensive, and it is expensive, but they have really good stuff. So just like everything, you gotta weed through it all. Marcy, I've learned it's best to outsource stuff that you don't make money doing, listing, etc., and keep stuff doing that makes you money, like sourcing. Yeah, that'd be nice. Good morning, Monty. Yeah, everyone loves the buying. The sourcing is the thrill of the hunt. That's the addictive part of it, the gambling aspect part of it, if you will. And a lot of people are addicted to gambling because it's the chase. We're addicted to thrifting because it's the chase. You know, what am I going to find next? Am I going to find that, you know, $25 jacket that I can sell for $350? Oh, oh, you need a copy? Yeah. I don't even know if you'd be able to decipher my chicken scratch handwriting, but yeah. So maybe I'll snap a picture of it and send it to you on. Are we friends on Facebook? You need to. I know you was talking about you're not really good on Facebook this morning on Justin's channel, but friend me on Facebook if you will. If you're in the, or if you're in the Justin's group or whatever. So yeah. Good morning, Adam. Adam is ADDG. Good morning. Thank you for coming in. Word and item of the day, samovar. Well, I need to be filled in on that one. What is it? Is it a bolo? Oh, you used to Marcy's used to. Yeah, you definitely get my handwriting then because it's on the level of dock writing. So, well, that's awesome, El. Yeah, I had a pretty good sale early this morning as well, so that was really nice. I always like waking up in the morning. I usually get up. I get up. It ranges from 5:15 to 6:30 ish. You know, depending on if my wife is teleworking or not, and she's teleworking today. So I got up about 6:45 or so this morning. But I always like getting up and I have a few sales waiting on my phone, but none today, none this morning. But right after I got up, I sold something pretty good. So correct, the vintage fiend. No mail on Monday. It's a holiday. No mail. They'll be postal service will be out delivering Amazon packages, but they will not be taking any parcels. Hey John, good morning, John. How you doing this morning, bud? Good morning, older than me. How are you doing? Oh yeah. Not telling John. No, I save all the specifics. You know this. John's just giving me a hard time, but I save all the specifics for my what sold video and that stuff. And this is just our morning pack and ship kind of deal and kind of a hodgepodge Q&A stuff. Good morning, Anissa. As soon as you shut your eyes, that's awesome. You're drifting off between sleep and wakefulness, and you hear that cha-ching, and you don't know if it's in your sleep or if it's real. I've had that happen more than once. Yeah, that happens a lot, L, with offers. Yep. Low ball, but if you have free ship and stuff, yep. And Lonnie just posted something on Facebook in the group. I don't know what. Oh, which one? The cat or the puppies? Probably Hobbs. He's the climber. Yep. Got several. He's the real subscriber magnet. Is the puppies and kitties. Good morning, Larry. How you doing this morning? Good morning, Tom. Welcome. Tom flipped a Patagonia jacket from TJ Maxx yesterday. Paid 50, sold for 130. Sold in 10 minutes. That's awesome. That's awesome. I had a really big jacket sale 2 days ago, and it sold within a couple hours of me listing. And I picked it up at our normal thrift store, but it still had its retail tags on it, and it also had a TJ Maxx tag on it. And the TJ Maxx tag was for $80, and we got it in the thrift store for low 20s or so. And that thing sold super quick for super good money. You'll see that in the what sold video in probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so. Jameson Claus's $10 offers seem to be the normal for me, no matter what I was. Isn't that crazy? I had someone literally offer $1 on a mug or something, and they were in California. They knew daggum good and well the shipping would be 10 or $12, and yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that intro this morning was hilarious. I literally laughed out loud. Usually put people LOL, they don't really laugh out loud. I laughed out loud. I'm lucky I didn't have coffee in my mouth. I was like, what in the heck is going on here? Hell, I've been selling consistently using What's It Worth app to fix my pricing. Absolutely. Through Christmas, I put on best offer on everything, and I sold a ton of stuff that I've had forever, and I was glad to see it gone too. Took a lot of offers. Yep. So good stuff. Oh, I hear someone coming down the stairs. Good morning, Craig. How you doing this morning? Yeah, it was funny, John. Good morning, Dave. How you doing this morning? He kept playing it over and over, John. I will definitely watch that as soon as the show's over, Marcy, for sure. Absolutely. So yeah, I was talking a little bit about how the thrifting is so good in this area, but the retail arbitrage is crap, and it is true. I mean, I have a Brick Seek Extreme subscription, but I don't even know if it's worth it anymore because the retail arbitrage, for one thing, I think the clearance doesn't go as low as everywhere else in the country because they mark it down just a little bit and people buy it. It's gone. There's no setting on the shelf in this area. So, but back when I lived in Missouri, when I was doing some RA there, I could clean up on retail arbitrage, clean up, especially in Lowe's. There was a few Lowe's stores that would clearance off their stuff at 90% off, and it would just sit there. And I made a ton of money off that stuff back then. Heck, I've been contemplating in my mind, is it worth making a trip back there just like once every month or two just to make the trip around the Lowe's and package up and send it straight into Amazon straight from there. But yeah. But anyway, it's different areas, different part of the country. Thrifting's good, RA is good. It's just, it's highly variable. Depends on where you live. Good morning, Don. Uh, oh, is it Dawn? I'm sorry. Two hip chicks is Dawn. You're Kelly. Yeah. Good morning, Kelly. Sorry about that. Well, that's good to know, Marcy. Like I said, and it's the same with TJ Maxx, Marshall, Home Goods in my area, as it is for the retail stores. Everything just gets snapped up so quick. But that's good to know for the rest of the part of the country. And I know for a fact if I made my way over to Baltimore, it'd probably be better because it's just not as affluent of an area. But if you've ever been to the DC area, especially Northern Virginia, making that drive to Baltimore is just excruciating. The traffic, the roads are terrible. It's just so awful. But anyway, Northern Virginia, uh, Washington D.C. suburbs. Yeah, same steampunk down, same here. Thrifting is wonderful. RA is horrible. Yeah. Marcy used to live in Baltimore. No, I know there's good areas of Baltimore too, but the areas closest to me, which is the southern, southwestern parts of Baltimore, are not that great. So, yep. Um, so yeah, I got two, like I said, two things to ship out. One local pickup, but yeah, hopefully the guy shows up tomorrow. Uh, the local pickup thing wasn't that expensive. It's something I thought would sell for more, but I'm just glad it finally sold. So yeah. Good morning, Gate City Picker. How you doing this morning? Appreciate you popping in. Okay. So yeah, the first one's pretty easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it popping. I talked a little bit about my live stream last Friday that something crazy happened with it that it didn't, for some reason it didn't show up on anyone's notifications. I talked a little bit about like usually the things that have worked out well in my life is stuff I've taken chances on, like, and that goes from the college I went to when I bought the thrift store, the antique mall, the flea market. When I bought that, people thought I was nuts, and it's usually when people go, "Man, you're nuts," that it worked out really well. So, and that's just my own personal experience. But yeah, Michelle Gray, question for you. I was thinking of getting into Amazon that I've got into other platforms and was wondering, do you suggest doing the 39 a month? Just do the individual for now, Michelle. Um, well, I guess the main question is if you're going to do merchant fulfilled or fulfillment by Amazon. So because basically, if you're on an individual seller plan, they charge you $1 per item sold, not listed, sold. So if you're selling more than 40 items a month, that's when it makes sense to do the professional account. So yeah. So yeah. So I've got my first one here. I got my scale over here. This only weighs like 6-7 ounces probably. 9 ounces. A couple ounces off. 9 ounces. I got all the parts and pieces in for my new lighting photography setup, and I'm going to be assembling it tomorrow. So, and I will do a video next week on my new photography and video setup. Let's see here. There it is. Still using the pirate ship. But it's going to be pretty well. The new setup is going to be way better than the old one. So, like I said, I'm excited to do the video on that. We kind of used it. It's not a complete, and it wasn't complete yet when we filmed our last haul video, but we filmed it in the area it's going to be in, but it wasn't complete yet. So it's going to be pretty nice to get all that done. Sorry guys, I'm seeing, I forget if this buyer paid for first class or priority mail shipping. I gotta see here. They paid for priority mail shipping, so priority it is. I usually give my buyers option if something's eligible first class, I still give them the option to buy priority mail if they want it, and this person wanted priority mail, so that's what they're going to get. Even though it was eligible for, whoops, I need to stop that print. Sent it to the wrong printer. Sent it to my regular printer instead of my Dymo. Gotta change that. Okay. There we go. Better. So yeah, give your buyers what they pay for. I mean, because who knows, that person wants this sooner or whatever. So it's none of my business. So I just give them what they pay for. Okay, what's going on over here? Yeah, Craig covered that. If you want to use third-party tools, like there's all kinds of, Scout IQ, all kinds of third-party apps. You have to have a pro account before you use them. Thank you, Ben Flipping Hard Goods. I appreciate it. Newfound Pass, thanks for the content you put out. Enjoy watching. Appreciate it. Heck yeah, L. I saved it. My last live video on Wednesday. I had an item. It was a toy actually, and it was going to like Wyoming or Idaho or something, and it didn't qualify for cubic. So I checked on FedEx through eBay, and FedEx saved me like $16. It went from $30 priority mail to 14 or 15 bucks with FedEx. So if you have something big that doesn't qualify for cubic, I can't stress enough, and it's going far, I can't stress enough, you need to check FedEx. Because, yeah, it could be way cheaper. Michelle, gated items, a lot of, DVDs and CDs are gated. Hasbro's gated. Disney. Yeah, there you go. Sean's covering it. Lego, all gated. Basically stuff that, and Scott's talked about this, the bearded pickers. Michelle, if you're not subscribed to Scott, he's the bearded picker, which you may be. He is the FBA Amazon selling guru in these parts. Go subscribe to his channel. He has a lot of good content on Amazon FBA. It's something I have done, not dabble in, but it's not my primary focus just because there's not enough retail arbitrage around here. But yeah. Hey, Bob owns a thrift store. How you doing, Bob? Yeah, I forget where I was going with that. But anyway, got my first one packaged up. I got just one more to package up. Let's see what size box this needs to go into. 12 by 8 by 5 or so. Guess it depends on where this is going as well. Marcy says she was able to get ungated in 3 brands yesterday on Amazon. Very exciting for newbie. Absolutely. I need to, it's been so long since I've checked on that. I need to recheck what I'm gated in and not. Because I've actually had an Amazon FBA account for a long time. So I may be ungated and stuff that I don't realize I am ungated in. I just need to go check on it. Yeah. Let me see here. This next item is heavy. It's not too big, but it's heavy. And it's going, they paid for shipping anyway, but it's just going to Massachusetts. So not too bad. So cubic is probably not a thing anyway, but I'm still going to do it through pirate ship. Use one of my 12 by 12 by 8 priority mailboxes. I guess that's what's kind of this morning chat has turned in. I mean, it is what it is. I've titled it Hodgepodge Q&A because that's what it is. But we talk about everything, but especially shipping. You know, the different aspects, the different. You know, pirate ship was a game changer, and it's been you know, it came hardcore on the scene back in like November. I don't even know how long it's been around exactly. All I know is I started hearing about it like in November or so. So. Talking about a market disruptor. It's pretty cool. Saves us sellers some money. Yeah, you want to be successful in this business, save sellers money. You know. Let me see here. L says just use BrickSeek since you have Extreme and pull it up on the Amazon website. Then request to be approved and keep going. Huh. I have to look into that, L. I've never, like I said, I've never done any of that. I have to check into that today. Yeah, me too, Sean. I would love to up my Amazon game because what I did a couple of years ago is I had stockpiled a bunch of merchant fulfilled stuff on Amazon, and I had 300 or 400 things stockpiled on merchant fulfilled. And bottom line is, merchant fulfilled does not sell like FBA. Period. But I took all that merchant fulfilled stuff and exported it over to FBA and sent all that crap in, and it sold like hotcakes. It'd been sitting in my merchant fulfilled for months, and as soon as it hit the Amazon warehouse, it was selling like crazy. But yeah, finding the amount of stuff to send into FBA is very difficult because even the stuff that I find that's new and packaged in a thrift store usually isn't good for Amazon because it's either shelf worn, the box is worn a little bit, what I call shelf worn, and or there's some flaw with it. And that's the other thing I would tell Michelle Gray in here. If you're sourcing new stuff at thrift stores, be super careful sending that to Amazon because it has to be perfect to send it to Amazon or they'll get you. So yeah, you can send in some used stuff to Amazon FBA as well, but it's whatever you're doing. So me too, Sean. I can't find enough quantity that is good quality package. So that's exactly we're simpatico there because I find good stuff. It's just not good enough for Amazon for one reason or another. So it is what it is. Okay. Hey, puppy. Got me some paper. This item I'm packing up. What is it? January 18th. This is a Christmas item, and it sold for full asking. But it is breakable, so I'm going to pack this super duper. I'm using Amazon paper. For all the new people in the chat, packing up breakable items, you just want it not to shift around. So I pack it in there tight. So you lift up the box and shake it. No movement. You're good. You're golden. Oops, did that piece short. Where Justin was talking, somebody asked in Justin's chat earlier about pictures from the past and stuff, and I'll try to break out a few things. I'm going to show you one thing. I'll be right back here. A lot of my regular viewers will know that I got my I've graduated Marine Corps boot camp 25 years ago this year. Long time ago. And this isn't a boot camp photo, but this is my School of Infantry group photo. It's hard to even find myself in here, but check this. Let me pull up so I can see. There you go. I'm in there in the top row somewhere. They put the tall guys in the top row, and I'm fairly tall. Back then I was almost 6'3". Now I kind of shrunk to 6'2". There's no names list, so it's sometimes hard to find myself in here. It's been so long ago. There I am. Right there. That's me 25 years ago. So that's pretty cool. This has been through, I'm surprised I still have this in that good of condition, but because it's been through heck and back. Did you see it, Marshall? Did you see it, Marcy? Yeah, I did, and I was a baby. I was 18 years old in that picture because I turned. I graduated high school when I was 17 years old. I turned 18 in June. 7 days later, I turned 18, and 7 days later, I left for boot camp. So I'd been 18 for 7 days when I went to Marine Corps boot camp, and at Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego. I knew someone would ask that. No, I was in San Diego. The Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego is right by the San Diego airport. If you have ever flown into the San Diego airport, you have seen Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego. My mother hated it, Marcy. Hated it. And Liz for day was 17 when she went to boot camp. Had to have your old parents sign off on that one, didn't you? I was in the delayed entry program since I was like a sophomore in high school. And, yeah. Yep. I was a grunt hawk. I was 0311 infantry reservist. Isn't that crazy, Mr. Sadie? It kind of makes me sad when I see that kind of stuff because I had my great grandfather on my mother's side was in World War I. He was in the Army in World War I, and I'm talking about he wasn't in and didn't do anything. He was in action in Europe in World War I. Barely survived. He was gassed numerous times. That had prolonged effect on his health until he passed away in the 60s. And I wished I had photos like that of him, and I don't, Hollywood. Alan went to Paris Island. Yep. My wife went to Paris Island. She did her boot camp in Paris Island. Well, that's where they do the female boot camp is Paris Island. So, yeah. The 0331 Allen. I can't even remember what all that stuff is now. I just knew, I just remember my own stuff. It's been so long. People were like, how can you forget that stuff? It's been years. Yep. Ill. My wife was intelligence, Alan. That's about all I can say. She was intel. Yeah, I don't know how she ended up with a grunt. Must have did something right. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. See, that's what makes her the smart one. I don't know. Flippy D, I was just a reservist, so I just did my time and got out. I was on. What's funny is I got off inactive reserve right before 9/11 happened. If I was still on inactive reserve when 9/11 happened, I would have gotten called back up. But I had literally, it was 5 months I got off inactive reserve when 9/11 happened. And by that time, I was pretty out of shape as well. So I wouldn't have been good to anyone anyway. So, Gina, I was with our Young Marine program here in North Carolina, and we took the kids to Paris Island in August few weeks. Too hot for me. Yeah, I can imagine. Yes, Mr. Sadie, my wife was a Marine. She was active duty Marine. So I call her the real Marine. And I was just a reservist. She is, Marcy. Everything they do. Yeah, it was a really close call, Marcy, because a lot of people. We were on alert to go to Bosnia several times, even as a reservist, but obviously we never did. And all these young guys gung ho, I'm like, you really want to go get shot at? I would have done my duty. I would have did it. I wouldn't have enjoyed it. Yeah, it's funny. All the ones that are so gung ho are probably the ones that are crying in the shower, though. Because they're homesick. Anyway, I'm gonna get this weight up. 5 pounds 8 ounces. 5 pounds 8 ounces. Oh, thanks, Money from Mars. I appreciate that. I'm just gonna call you Mars. I don't think I have your name down here. Yeah, I got the boom mic all set up. Makes it a lot better. Hopefully the sound is good. Yeah, I understand that, Alan. Yep. Good morning, Shannon. Thank you. Thank you for the congratulations. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoy all the sold and haul videos, and these live ones are just kind of us chit chatting. Marcy, what is your plan with the new shipping rates? It reminds me of how I'm just doing calculated, so it won't affect me at all. Marcy, I do calculated shipping but free returns. So I tinkered with free shipping for a few months through Christmas, but I've changed back all to calculated shipping. I just got if when I did free shipping, I would just get hammered, absolutely hammered with West Coast purchases, coast to coast, and it would kill me. So calculated here on out. I forgot how much this weighed now. 5 pounds 9 ounces, maybe. We redo it. 5 pounds 8 ounces. Not that that makes a difference, but still. Okay, before I forget again, I'm gonna get this shipped out. 5 pounds 8 ounces. This won't be too bad because it's just going to Massachusetts. $9.42. Deal. Done. That's my whopping 2. Okay. Set these over here. Okay. Focus on you guys again. Boom mic. Let me see here. Regional shipping. I don't know anything about that, L. That'd be interesting. Marcy, I'm going to change over to calc until I can understand how the new charges work. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, Marie. How you doing this morning? Good morning, Roger. No, sir, Roger. I've never been in North Carolina. I was in California with the Marines, if that's what you're talking about, for my boot camp and my SOI, my School of Infantry. Gina's in Greensboro, North Carolina. We have some friends that live in North Carolina and Washington, North Carolina. We went down for their wedding last year. The Vintage Fiend, how many views have you got on the shot jacket? Not as many as you would think. I thought there would be a lot of views. I used a lot of those keywords, motorcycle, racing, leather, coat, jacket, shot, all that stuff. I don't know if cafe racer should be used in there, but not as many as I would have thought yet. Marcy, no, I don't use a handling fee. No, just don't. And just woke up. Yeah, we've worked a bunch of early risers in here. I've considered, Marcy, doing a handling fee because everything costs, from our tape to our bubble wrap to the box. Well, usually the boxes, if you're using priority mail boxes, it doesn't, but still, packaging stuff up takes time. It all takes time. But yeah. There's Dawn. I was just talking about you, Dawn. I confused your name with someone else's, but there she is. Good morning. So it's 6:42 where you're at. Oh, so you're in the West Coast. Early. So when we're doing Justin's show, it's like, oh, let me see. We started his show at 7:15, so it's 4:15 a.m. in the West Coast. That's why I like kind of like doing mine at 9, because West Coast is at 6 o'clock then. So hopefully, not hopefully, people are getting up and are back around then. Yeah, just got an email or something. Yeah, you all let me know how that works out. Whether it's 50 cents or $1. Because see, I'm curious how it does anything. Mr. Sadie 8:43 there. So you're in Central Time Zone. Yeah, yeah. It's they do amazing numbers at their shop. I watched it. It's hard to watch everyone's video because there's so much good content, but a lot of times I'll have it running in the background, and that for everyone from small people to big people like Pete. Uh, but he was talking about on his channel how, I mean, he still goes out to thrift stores and garage sales and stuff, but most of his stuff that he sells now, just people bring it into a shop and he buys it. So that was pretty interesting, because he does, like, what was that? His December, he did like $70,000 in sales or something on eBay. So too early for you, Nathan. It is early. I don't know if you're talking about the one I just packaged up, Roger, or not. I have no idea. In St. Louis, yep. We lived in Columbia, Missouri for. My wife is from Missouri, but I lived in Columbia with her for 10 years, for a decade. So, yeah, that too. I'm sure it does, Marcy. First class shipping is going to be local or regional, 1 through 9, with 9 as the furthest region. And anything over zone 3 will increase by 35%. Definitely going to be interesting. Man, that's crazy. So basically, that's going to push people towards priority mail, isn't it? If it's the over zone 3 or over. I don't know, Roger. Because if I put that 12 by 12 by 8 box in a poly bag, it's over 18 inches, isn't it? Because you're supposed to. I mean, I'm not claiming to know everything here. I don't. But anything over 18 inches laying flat does not qualify for cubic, does it? I wouldn't have a poly bag that would really fit that anyway. I have some huge poly bags. I maybe could have cut one down, but yeah, it's interesting to learn stuff new every day. It's the nuances, the ins and outs, the minutia. Learning it, learns. That's my mantra. If you watch my videos from the get go, learn something new every day. So, oh, definitely not Marcy. Yeah, they have a good thing going there. All right, Justin, thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Hey, good morning, Hip to Flip. Hi from Texas. Appreciate you popping in. Sean just found a good $9 profit item on BrickSeek. Now to see if Target actually has it after work. Yeah. What do you do, Sean? Because we all know that Target frowns on retail arbitrage, and I have gotten stuff there on retail arbitrage, but not that often. But if anybody, most of the time they don't say anything anyway. But if they do, I can just say, "Oh, I'm getting it for this," or if it's a bunch of toys, and be like, "I have 15 nieces and nephews," which is true. Doesn't mean they're going to go to them, but I hate having to lie to people just to buy stuff from a retail store. It's ridiculous. My Target close to me doesn't even. It'd be nice if they had self checkouts, but they don't. Vintage Fiend just sold some vintage socks. I love vintage socks and stuff like that. I sell that kind of stuff all the time. Usually get it for pretty cheap, especially if it's new in the package. Well, definitely have to be new in the package, but yeah, it's good stuff. We have 61 watching. That's pretty good. Pretty good. If you don't mind, just click that little gray thumbs up or down if you feel the need. I appreciate it. For anyone that doesn't know, that acts as an interaction on the YouTube algorithm, and it pumps up my video in the search results and such. Help get those sweet, sweet pennies from those terrible ads. Some long wool socks. Yep. I've got a pair of long wool socks that I've had listed. I've only had them listed for a couple months. If you watch my videos, I don't mind hanging on stuff for a little while, so they're a little bit long tail. But yeah, I do buy stuff like that. Looks like Justin's got firing up a live hangout in a little bit. So we'll go maybe another 10, 12 minutes or so. Say cut off at 10 o'clock. Just sold some vintage socks. I thought maybe, did I say that? I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Mars. Turn the thumbs up from gray to blue. I appreciate it. Oh, thanks for coming back, Bob. Appreciate it. Oh, that's nice. You got some nice sterling silver. Stuff's hard to come by. Marie, I don't say anything. I just look at the clerk with the none of your business, mom look at. And it's true. It's none of their business. I still don't understand why they would give someone the business for buying their stuff, because the point is to sell your stuff. It's just like if someone bought an item from me and flipped it and made money on it. Well, I got what I wanted out of it. So if someone can make more money on it, more power to you. Marcy, I noticed that a lot of people tend to come on their own conclusions about what I'm going to do with all my stuff. Some people have say, "Oh, you run a book club, etc." I just roll with it. Yeah, yeah. I know Scott's talked about that. He tells people, and some people don't feel comfortable telling. It's whatever. Okay, Roger. I'll check that next time. Appreciate it, bud. I sell mainly clothes, so all my stuff is long tail. Just trying to get my numbers up. Yeah. I get that. Well, thank you for the sub, Forever Fishing. I appreciate it. I lived in Missouri for a decade. I lived in Columbia for a decade. So thanks for subscribing and welcome. And hello, Shipping Sunshine. Crystal, good morning, Crystal. Would you care if they were trying to use drop ship from I don't care. No. Actually, that has happened to me several times, especially I had this lot of SkinCeuticals stuff. I got a big lot of it. I spent like $50 on a ton of this SkinCeutical stuff. And I ended up making probably $1,500 on this stuff, and most of it was drop shipped. I don't care. I spent $50 on it, and I got about $1,500. If they can make $10 on it, more power to you. So depends on your mood, Don. Tick you off. Forever Fishing is close to Joplin. Yep. So Southwest Missouri. She sells. Just kind of shake my head yes to whatever the clerk says. Yeah, sure. Oh boy, paying that bill. Yeah, they did. Justin talked about this morning about people drop shipping on eBay. They're going to crack down on it. So, oh, thanks, Marcy. I appreciate it. I'm just, I've talked about this, but I'm a normal person, but I've been doing this since I think I sold my first items on eBay and Amazon and half.com and Yahoo auctions in 1997, 1998 or so. I was definitely not full time then, but that's when I first started selling online in that era. Anybody in here remember Yahoo auctions? But yeah, did that for a few years while I was just working. Back then, I was just working, regular crap jobs. I did everything from I was what I made the best money at back then was I was a catering manager for a barbecue place. I made a ton of money doing that back then. Uh, I was in drug testing for a little while, and then I went to college in 2002. I went to University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma in 2002. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in physical education in 2.5 years. I went hardcore. I went 18 hours, all three, the fall, spring, and summers. I did that and got my bachelor's in 2.5 years. Thought I was going to be a teacher and a coach, the typical thing. I love sports, played sports growing up. See Hobbs behind me. My last semester of college, when I was a senior, a friend of mine from college, um, who was older like I was, hey, Mr. Hobbs, what are you doing, buddy? He's gonna come and visit. But, she was back in her old career and, offered me a job as a project manager. That'd make a good thumbnail, wouldn't it? As a project manager in Florida, and I did that after I graduated until I met my wife. I met my wife while I was in Florida through a mutual friend, and she lived in Missouri. She was in, graduate school at the University of Missouri. So, things went well there, of course, and I quit that job and moved to Missouri, and, yeah. Once I moved to Missouri, um, struggled to find a job. I had a degree, but still struggled to find a job. So all I was doing was, anybody wants to see your butt. I don't mind that Hobbs is part of the show. He'd probably bring more subscribers than I would. But I was just doing like surviving. I was picking up work, like doing some landscaping, yard work, and stuff for people. Just trying to make it. And that's when my wife and I started hitting garage sales really hardcore and going to auctions. And we got some booths at some local antique malls and flea markets to sell stuff just to make ends meet, and that kind of stuff. And that's when the opportunity presented itself to buy the flea market. They call it, they call them antique malls, thrift stores, but it was a flea market. It was a vendor-based flea market, and when I bought that, everyone thought I was crazy because it was bankrupt, but, yeah, that went well and did that for 10 years. So, yeah, until we moved out here, and now I've been flipping full time ever since, so yeah, my dogs get along with the cats just fine, so, of course, they were kinda raised with each other, so okay, so what's the chat saying here? Wanted to tell a little bit of my story because I see a lot of new names. I know a lot of you've heard that before, so but the bottom line is I know a lot of stuff, but I don't know everything. Learn something new every day, so missed what your degree I have I got my bachelor's degree in physical education, which is I know stereotypical and stuff, but, when I went to Missouri and I owned the flea market, I did go to graduate school and I have an MBA, I have a master's of business administration as well. After I finished my MBA, I did teach part-time at the University of Missouri. I taught business as an adjunct part-time at the University of Missouri for a couple of years as well, so Mr. Hobbs is hiding the chat, so, uh I appreciate it, guys. All your support means a lot to me. Everyone that does the super chats, it's awesome. You guys are great. Let me see. My grandfather used to sell at Sandy Bar's flea market years ago. That's awesome. Shasha, welcome Shasha, new name again. My grandson signed up for the Marines last summer. Will graduate high school this year and then go to boot camp. That's awesome. Is he going to California or is he going to Paris Island? It's not meant to impress, Marcy. It's something that if I could do it, anyone can do it, you know. Hey, good morning, Craig. How's it going? Your full family's jarheads. Because I tell you, and I've talked about my background a little bit before that part of it, but something I haven't talked about a lot of is I grew up in Arkansas, in Northeast Arkansas, Jonesboro. There we have a person. Okay, Hobbs, that's enough, buddy. Flipping Arkansas, I think, and here's from Jonesboro. But I grew up in Jonesboro, went to Nettleton High School. Where I grew up, we were poor. I mean, I'm talking single wide trailer, holes in the floor, no heat in the winter, poor. I mean, my mom always had made sure we had food on the table, but that was it. And I'm gonna get on a little rant here, and this isn't political, but this is where we're failing as a society. My mother, who is great, everybody that loves their mama, right? Um, was a department manager at Walmart in the 70s. So we were good then. We were, I would say, lower middle class then when I was a kid, lived in a nice house on Cotton Street in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Now that neighborhood's gone downhill, but back then it was a nice neighborhood, nice family neighborhood. Lived in a nice, two-story house on the corner. My dad at that time was an over the road truck driver. But my dad, he's an alcoholic, so that plays into this a little bit as well. But my mother in 1979, when I was just a kid, was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. One day she was at work and like the lights went out, her eyes, she couldn't see. And it took like 6 months or a year or so for her to be diagnosed with MS. So instantly with the disease, we went from lower middle class, decent, nice family neighborhood to poor as shit. Cause this makes me emotional because my mom just passed away not too long ago. She went from, back then making like I don't even know how much she made back then, but we lived a nice life. We went from that nice life to the government goes, "Well, too bad you're disabled now." And she literally got $400 a month Social Security disability. $400 a month. So she went from probably back then she was probably making, I'm just guessing here, $1,000, $1,200 a month, which is a lot for 1980s. She went from that to $400 a month. That's a failure as a society. We as a family, my mother was doing the right thing. 3 kids, doing the right thing, working hard, lower middle class family, just working, just trying to do things the right way, and went from that to the poorhouse because of a disease. That is a failure on society, and it makes me mad to this day. It pisses me off so bad. So my life changed when my mother got diagnosed with MS. We went from, and she was a department manager. She was on the fast track. She was gonna be okay. We would have been probably middle class, maybe even upper middle class if she would have kept that job, which she would have. She loved working at Walmart. And this was early on at Walmart too. You're talking she'd been there since the, mid to late 70s. So we went from that to nothing, to less than nothing, to handouts of government cheese and powdered milk to eat. Failure of society. So all these people that talk about all these welfare queens, government handouts, screw you. It is nothing. Nothing. Oh, it makes me so mad. Sorry, but that's my rant for the day. So, yeah. But I got out of it, and my older sister got out of it. Unfortunately, my little sister is repeating that cycle. She never did things the right way, never showed any ambition to get out of that. But my older sister is a professional in the dental world. She's not a dental assistant. She's a traveling like um, she's like a fit specialist for implants and crowns and stuff. She's worked in that dental area for a long time. Her father-in-law actually got her into it. So and I went to college and living a good life now, but that still pisses me off to this day about how one disease can take a family from perfectly good middle class to nothing in an instant. Nothing, less than nothing. It's like we were just cast offs. It makes me so mad. That's one of the reasons I joined the Marines, though, because I felt like a burden to my mother, her having to provide for all of us when she had nothing. She had less than nothing. So, Scott, good to see you in here, bud. Joni is okay. She is with her sister at the women's breakfast, then is going to get IV fluids and see if that will help with the pain. Well, thanks for the update, Scott. I hate that. Disease is it's awful. Oh, and hate to keep harping on this, but to compound that MS diagnosis, which she was diagnosed in 79 or 80 or so. In 1989, she got cervical cancer. And she was in Little Rock for a good 6 months in the Ronald McDonald House with getting treatment for cervical cancer, both radiation and chemo. And that almost killed her as well. So that's why I say my mother is the strongest woman in the world, because she made it to 65 years old, which is young, but with the health issues she's had, that was, she's a fighter. She had MS and survived cervical cancer that almost killed her. And she just passed away in 2017. So, yeah. Yeah, and that's all I have to say about that, as Forrest Gump would say. Yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah. And that's why I say, Craig, that don't ever let the minority that's trying to scam the system jade and make you jaded, because people that are trying to scam the system are the minority. Like, they're just a few percentage point. They're always going to be that way. Actually, my little sister, her husband is that way. He's always a scammer trying to scam the system. But there are more people in legitimate need like us that get left behind because of that attitude. So, yeah. I've always put it this way: think about the kids. You know, never want to leave the kids behind. So, and that was us. I felt left behind. So, but that's it, guys. It's 10:05. I think Justin's going to be firing up a working hangout. Sorry to make it so serious today, but people want to know about me, and that's part of made me who I am today. It made it the way I think, who I am, how I vote is because of the way I grew up in Arkansas. So, take that for what it is. But appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you hitting that thumbs up, share, like, whatever it is. Yeah, and we will definitely going thrifting this weekend. Hopefully, get some good stuff. Be back to the serious business of flipping and thrifting. And yeah, thanks a million, guys. And we will see you guys back on Monday with another live show. Later.